You're listening to New Retirement Radio, brought to you by the team at Prout Financial Design.
Hello, I'm your host, Certified Financial Planner, Dennis Prout.
I'm Heidi Cartwright, Financial Advisor and RICP.
Advisors associated with Prout Financial Design may be either 1. Registered representatives with and securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC, and investment advisor representatives of Integrated Partners, a registered investment advisor, or 2. Solely investment advisor representatives of Integrated Partners, a registered investment advisor and not affiliated with LPL Financial. Investment advice offered through Integrated Partners, a registered investment advisor. Integrated Partners and Prout Financial Design are separate entities from LPL Financial. Dennis Prout and Nathan Prout are solely investment advisor representatives of Integrated Partners and are not affiliated with LPL Financial. The opinions voiced in this show program are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which strategies or investments may be suitable for you, consult the appropriately qualified professional before making a decision.
WTCM News Talk 580. Welcome aboard. It's New Retirement Radio with Prout Financial Design, starring Mr. Dennis Prout. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ron. I think I can hear myself. Check, check, check. 1, 2. We are here. Good morning. It is Thursday, March 12th, 2026. If you do happen to be listening to the rebroadcast on Saturday, which is a recording of this program, it is a rebroadcast. Today is my father's birthday. He would have been 103.
Wow.
103. Was born in 1923. My father was a good man. Talk about a good taskmaster. We all grew up on the farm near Mount Pleasant, Michigan.
So I was going to say you grew up on a farm. So what did your dad farmed?
He farmed. He's also worked at Dow Chemical eventually when he figured out that the farm was not going to be supportive of the family to any degree that he wanted to see it, put in succinctly as I know how. And he decided somewhat kind of mid-career that he wanted to get his journeyman's designation because he thought it'd be interesting. Plus, it was going to be helpful to earnings. Mm-hmm. And so I recall as if it were yesterday, we'd all be done with dinner, and Dad would settle in at the table and begin studying for his journeyman's electrician designation. And that was wild. I think he was in his mid-40s by that time.
So he was an electrician. He worked at Dow and knew how to farm.
Yeah, he did indeed.
What did he grow? What did you grow there?
Edible beans, so call them.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from navy beans to, we call them black turtle beans, which are used in Mexican dishes.
Oh, yeah.
And that was kind of wild in those days because they were the markets were rather thin for that kind of stuff. But what a great place to grow up.
Yeah.
My parents were awesome as parents. Mom was the county clerk back in Isabella County in those days.
Jeez.
So, yeah. They just encouraged us to pursue, I don't know,
happiness.
With as much enthusiasm as we could. Yeah. There were 6 of us in the home. So Mom and Dad liked being parents, I think, and they were good at it. So it was, to put it simply, a great place, you bet.
Coincidence, weird. Nathan's grandfather's birthday is today, too.
Wow.
Amazing.
Weird.
That's crazy.
It's a small world, I guess.
Weird.
That's so wild. Well, thank you for listening. If you do have a question of a financial nature, you are welcome to call or write via text. And that number, if you would, Ron, is
231 area code. You can dial or whatever you do. Press call, as Dennis said, or write us a message. 231-947-0023. 947-0023.
And you just heard Nathan Prout, our managing director. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
Great to have you. And then Beth Shire, our director of marketing.
Good morning. It's lovely to be here and loving the sunshine this morning.
Isn't it amazing?
Better enjoy it, though. I don't think we're going to have it for long.
Yes, not for long.
Right.
Now, Apple Weather on the phone says, and I want to know, too, what your weather people are saying, Ron. This is wild. So Apple says that we could have snow Friday, 6 to 7 inches. This is for Traverse City proper, if you will. Sunday, 21 to 26 inches.
Yeah.
Monday, 14 to 18 inches. Now, I added up both sides of the equation. That's 41 to 51 inches total.
I can't handle it.
It's crazy. Thank you, Colleen. Now, weather.gov or NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, try to say that
Rolls
quickly.
right off the tongue.
Yeah, it does. What do they say? 2 to 3 inches on Friday. And then about the weekend, another wintry system is expected to impact northern Michigan Saturday night through Monday.
Jeez.
Now, talk about yin and yang. That's about as wide as you get, isn't it? Well,
for
we
the
may have
last
some
few
weather
days.
on Sunday.
For the last few days, on the weather sources that I check, which I check a lot, they've been saying for Friday and Monday, watching a potential winter storm. So they haven't committed to there's going to be a winter storm. They're watching for the potential of that, and they haven't been giving any numbers.
Isn't that something?
My wife's forecast must be the same that you get because it's for the last few days. It said 14 to 19, 15 to 20. Now you said 21 to 26.
Yeah.
Our forecast for Sunday says light snow showers.
Isn't
I'll take the light,
Yeah,
actually.
no kidding.
Yeah, so.
So, you might want to have an extra can of beans in the pantry, right, for the weekend, and keep the shovel handy. But who knows? Now, I thought that was just a great lesson in trying to guesstimate or understand what's happening overseas, because it's not as though you don't have an action and reaction either from us and Iran or vice versa. Speaking of what's happening over there. And I think simply adding some information to it that's a bit distant or maybe macro orientated instead of micro can be helpful here. Thank you very much, Dennis. So Javier Baez is quoted by our economist, Rob, from the 7th of March. We can call that 5 days ago. Looking at the energy market with a wide-angle lens, I don't see anything, Javier says, remotely approaching the pain of 1973-74, 79, 90, 91, or the 2021-2022 crises. An energy crisis has three elements. Thank you very much. What are those three, you say? The number of commodities affected, number one. The number. Petroleum, coal, all the rest. Second, the magnitude of the price increase. So how much are we talking about? Now, for sure, petroleum's gone from $60 to about $90 a barrel as of now, okay? That could change 2 hours from now. I get that. And lastly, or thirdly, the duration of the increase. How long are we talking about? And there's an additional element that we should always take into consideration, he says. The starting point in terms of price and the overall supply and demand balance. So we get, and we've all seen the news, that there's a glut, basically, of oil on the world markets at this point, including the good old United States. We're overproducing. We're producing more than we consume at this point in time. So I think that's going to moderate the price increases, although some people would say a 60 to 90 is moderated. Yeah, when you consider the alternative, it did pop up to 115 or so about a
few hours,
ago.
I think, for a day or maybe. Yeah.
On Sunday last. That would have been, the 7th or 8th as well. Historical context matters too. For China, by the way, the price of coal is the key. The energy market has changed over the past 50 years, but many still analyze it through paradigms that belong to another era. Petroleum accounted for nearly 25% of global power generation in 1973 and 74. 25%. Today, its share has dropped to less than 3%. It's 1/8.
Wow.
Okay? So while we get the news, if I may interject this, keep in mind the reality on the ground is it's not nearly as bad given the focus of what it is we're trying to get transported through the Strait of Hormuz. While that's important, and we're all hoping that gets opened sooner rather than later. And by the way, that's interesting. Chubb Insurance is now getting the backing, apparently, of the United States government to insure those ships that go through are willing to go through the strait. We'll see what difference that makes. Apparently, there are about 700 to 750 ships awaiting transfer through the strait. So it's certainly a constricted point. What we can do to otherwise change that equation will be really interesting here in the coming days. Whether the United States decides to try to assist those other tankers going through, jeopardizing themselves in the process, will be another thing to see. It will be. In essence, the uncertainty is significant, but Nathan's going to be talking about that so presciently, about what should we be doing about it. We get that there are issues over there. It's been a long time coming. How many people did the Iranian leadership kill of their own back in January of this year?
30,000 by some estimates or reports?
30,000 or so. So whether or not it was, I'll just say it, this president or another president, eventually it was something that was going to have to be confronted, I think. Who wants to do this? Nobody. I mean, do we want to be a part of this? No. I don't think any of us want to. But was there a potential need to? That's open for consideration, I'll say. Many are saying, thank goodness that we have. So, I'm just going to stick with that. I want to fly on the high on this one. I don't want to get involved in the politics of it because I get it. The variances there are dramatic. The Iran war affects a narrow set of energy commodities, oil and liquefied natural gas. It hasn't spread to the electricity or coal markets. Neither has it impacted the important U.S. and Canadian natural gas market. Finally, the starting for this oil crisis was favorable. Prices were low, and both the oil and LNG markets were facing a glut this year, as I've already mentioned. Now, Goldman Sachs has a different view. Let's cover that here briefly, and then we'll take a break, shall we? Goldman Sachs on Saturday, March 7th, disagrees with Javier's position. They said oil would hit $100 next week. Well, that was before that. They said it. They were right. They often are. They said that we may hit demand destruction levels. That simply means that demand will come down as a result of price increases related to oil and gas. Oil prices may need to go to demand destruction levels even more quickly than history and simple models focusing only on the Persian Gulf exports suggest. Hoarding by consumers and cuts in non-OECD refined products exports could accelerate the pace of inventory depletion further. We now think that oil prices would likely exceed $100 next week if no signs of solutions emerge before then. Well, it would appear, as we were discussing too, that some solutions are coming forth. We'll see how consistent they are and if they can make a difference in the transport of petroleum. It is impacting still the economy. So further along on that, from Capital Group, Tala Khan, Darren Piers, and Pramod Atluri. Three of these people, I can't pronounce their name if you can understand any of it.
3 for 3.
3 for 3. As war in the Middle East escalates, investors are confronted with the reality of a world that is becoming more dangerous. For now, going further into the article, Markets are adjusting to higher geopolitical risk, but not yet positioned for a prolonged regional war. Again, we can't know what that's going to mean. We do know that the markets are pricing in a fair amount of negativity. The Dow had hit 50,000. Today it's at about 47,000 the last time I looked. It's down about 6% on the Dow. So it's already pricing in significant amounts of these issues.
Dow's at 46,832 now.
Yeah, so it's down about 270 points. It's showing us that it doesn't like what's happening and or the potential for more conflict. Iran is continuing to throw more drones and bombs that are only seeming to make things worse. We'll have to see.
If people are selling off some stocks because the markets are down, where do you think they're putting that money?
A lot are placing it in more conservative investments, such as treasury bills, that sort of thing. Now, for most of our portfolios, for those who are using it currently or in the process of doing that, we have money in those safe areas for them to be able to draw from. That's a key component of this. So riding this out in every previous case has paid off significantly, and I don't want to steal Nathan's thunder. So let's talk about that next. And then we're also going to have representatives from Impact 100 on here a bit later after Nathan's talk. So Nathan's going to help us learn how to stay invested in volatile markets. Tell us, sir.
Yeah, so this article comes to us from Fidelity. And just to start off with, it's natural, and this is according to them, to feel anxious about turbulent markets, says Melissa Knoll, Vice President of Behavioral Science at Fidelity. Even knowing that dips are often only temporary, as humans, we are hyper-focused on avoiding a phenomenon known as negativity bias. The tendency to focus on negative aspects of a situation may be hardwired. So since most of us aren't...
Okay, hang on a second. What does hardwired mean?
Yeah, it's part of your nature, right?
Oh,
Bio.
Okay. Just checking.
Right,
Yeah.
Okay. So the article goes on. So since most of us aren't experts at managing money, our decisions around investing may be guided by some biases. However, when markets are volatile, your innate reactions may encourage you to sit on the sidelines or even cash out altogether.
Now, Peter Lynch talked about this. Often he would see folks looking for advice to sell at just about exactly the wrong time. And he referenced this. He goes way back managing the Fidelity Magellan Fund. Incredible success with that mutual fund. So listening to your gut instincts might steer you very wrong.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was watching even a short clip from Dave Ramsey the other night, and he was talking about this Iran conflict and the importance of staying invested, just as you were saying, cannot be overstated. And he referenced COVID. So when the lockdown kicked in with COVID and everybody went home and all the businesses had to shut down, the market experienced about a 30% drop.
Yeah, in 2020.
In 2020, yeah. So we don't even have to go back that far for way more volatility than we're currently experiencing.
Yeah, 30% today would be about 15,000 points for reference.
Just for reference.
Bam, right.
But if you stayed invested, you were back to even, and I believe this is what he said, in 59 days, if you stayed invested.
It's crazy.
So if you sold, you obviously risked a 30% loss. But if you just stayed invested, you were back to even in 59 days. And then, more than likely, you were positive by the end of the year, depending on what you were invested in.
Now, in April of 2020, and we talked about this previously in previous shows, that April was the best month in 30 years. Of any month over a 30-year period, it was up that much. Right. So the problem with trying to get out and get in everyone would say, well, I think it's time to get out. Okay, you decide to get out. Now, you may have some taxes to pay in that transaction. But the other thing is then you don't let those money managers and or allocation strategies that are changing. And Ron and I were talking about this at the break. So many of the assets or accounts that we allocate for clients are automatically reallocated within themselves if they get too far out of sync, if you will. So they're actually either buying and or reallocating within your accounts, and you don't often see it. So those changes can be occurring to benefit you when you've stayed with the program, in essence.
By the way, we were talking about the markets. I just looked, the 1 year Dow Jones up 13% over the last year, even with this recent dip. So that's pretty good, isn't it?
It is pretty good, and it's a good reference as well.
Yeah. And it goes really right into their first point, too, in the article of we, as humans, dislike losses more than we enjoy gains. So finding or losing $10 should make you equally happy or sad, right? Yet studies exploring a phenomenon called loss aversion demonstrate that losses hurt more than equivalent gains make you feel good. So, seeing loss after loss compounds your negative feelings and takes away from the positive feeling of the gains.
So that song, Feelings, don't listen to it right now, okay? It's not a good one to be listening to. For those that remember what that was, right?
Yeah. Loss aversion has also been used to help explain the disposition effect, which describes a tendency for investors to hold on to investments that have lost money and sell those that have increased in value. The idea is that we don't want to accept the fact that we have lost money on an investment, which tends to make us want to hold on to it even when we shouldn't. Now, getting into the second point, uncertainty is uncomfortable. And man, there's a lot of uncertainty right now.
Yep.
Hypothetically, and Ron, this goes to you, if you were offered a choice between an envelope you knew contained $50 and another that may or may not contain $100, which would you choose?
What's behind the curtain?
Exactly.
No, I know. I'd go with the 50.
Would
Yeah.
you? You'd take the guaranteed 50.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh no, because I'm thinking the other one wouldn't be. It wouldn't be a loss. I'd still gain something.
Right. It
There's
would be
something in
100
there.
or 0.
All right, I'd go with the empty envelope then. Or
Would
the
you?
unknown envelope.
Interesting.
And then your luck would play into it being
Because
empty.
I wouldn't lose anything. I'd be ahead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. According to the article, most people tend to opt for the sure thing because of our natural tendency to avoid ambiguity. Risks that feel more certain or known feel better than risks that are unknown. Most investors know it's important to take on some level of risk in order to potentially enhance their long-term returns, of course. However, when markets are turbulent, our tendency to back away from uncertain situations can often prevail. Right now, the market feels extra ambiguous to some, so cash seems like the more reassuring option. Some people are more comfortable choosing an option when they know what they're getting, even if their long-term gains will likely be smaller. And then lastly, we value today's dollars more than future dollars. And this is known as present bias, which leads us to overweigh the importance of our current state compared to a future one. So again, Ron, would you rather have $700 today or $1,000 a year from now?
Both of them guaranteed. So $700 today or a guaranteed $1,000 in 1 year.
Well, my garage door just broke.
Uh-oh.
So, no, I'll take the
Neither
1,000.
one would help with that.
I'll take the $1,000. 1,000 in the future.
Okay. So the majority of people opted for the immediate payout in this situation, even though it meant they would be forfeiting more than a 40% return on the money.
40% of 700, of course, is
Yeah.
$280. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, of course, thanks to compound interest and potential returns on our investments, dollars in the future, of course, may very well be worth more than the present. So present bias creates a tendency for us to live for today instead of sticking to a disciplined route that might benefit our future. If choosing between a brownie and an apple for dessert, you might tend to pick the choice that makes your current self happy, such as the brownie, instead of keeping your future self healthy with the apple. When it comes to money decisions, present bias makes it more tempting to spend our earnings and enjoy money today, and harder for us to save and invest for the future. Sticking to an investing plan is already naturally difficult for us to do, especially in the markets right now. And when markets are volatile, of course, that difficulty increases.
So sometimes doing the difficult thing obviously is the better thing, but I say I'm still stuck on the brownie and the apple. Now, how good does the brownie look versus the apple, right, Ron?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, if it's
what
got
does the apple look like?
Yeah, and does it have caramel through it? You know, the brownie and all the rest.
Right. You have a special guest in the
We
studio
do
today,
indeed.
and joining us today from. We have all the information with Beth there. Let me make sure your mic's on there, Beth. Go.
Check.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
What's up, Beth?
Yes. Hello again. So today we have a representative from Impact 100, which is a wonderful organization that we, Prout has been supportive of since they first opened the chapter in Traverse City.
In 2017.
2017. It's just a wonderful organization. So today we have Jen Kuhar with us. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, wonderful. And she's just going to tell us a little bit about Impact 100 and some upcoming dates that they have going. So if you'd like to go ahead and introduce
Awesome.
yourself. Yeah.
Thank you, Beth. My name is Jen Kuhar. I serve as the Chair of Marketing and Communications for Impact 100 Traverse City. I've also been a small business owner in the region, so being a part of an organization that directly invests and impacts into our community is something that really resonates with me and my rationale for being a part of this organization. So for those that don't know, Impact 100 Traverse City is a group of women who come together to pool our giving and invest in transformational projects right here in Northern Michigan. Each member contributes $1,000, and together we're able to award grants of more than $100,000 to local nonprofits to our 5-county region.
Incredible. And by the way, last year, how many did the Impact contribute to? How
Yes.
many organizations?
Great question. So we have a membership drive each year, and so we're nearing the end of that. Last year we had 348 members in our chapter, which meant we were able to award 3 grants of $116,000 to our grant recipients.
Wow. Wow. Incredible. So Impact can make a significant difference in these nonprofits to grow and or flourish into the years ahead with what can be a significant change to their bottom line.
Yes, absolutely. And the idea and an additional reason why many women participate in this organization, and one that resonates with me as well, is that we have a truly rigorous process when we vet our grant applicants. And part of that is because the goal ultimately is to have a sustainable gift, something that our women in our chapter feel good about, being able to leave a legacy that's sustainable change for our community.
I love that point because Heidi Cartwright, not on the show this week, intends to be next, was talking about the thoroughness. She is part of the part of the financial committee that oversees
Yes.
the work, and she said they look at the history of these organizations, their current capabilities, and also their spending format. Are they responsible with the funds that they receive, so that Impact can make a much better contribution to what would appear an organization that can continue well into the future and only be strengthened with this gift.
100%. And one of the things that our grant applicants that may have been finalists or participated in the experience have said it really helped them understand even their business model and their plan. And so we always encourage applicants, if they don't make it to the final round, to reapply. And through that process, we've experienced applicants who have done that and have been very successful.
Oh my gosh, Heidi mentioned a few of them. Peace Ranch, that has gotten a significant award. Inland Seas, I think that helped them purchase a boat. I'm not sure about that.
Yes.
The Child Advocacy Center, she said you were able to give them key components of within their facility.
Yes. Yeah, and one of the things that is transformational is when we're able to support nonprofits make it a substantial investment in capital equipment that may be needed. For example, one of our grant recipients this past year was Food Rescue, Northern Michigan Food Rescue, and we helped to support a walk-in cooler that is helping them prepare tenfold many more fresh fruits and vegetables to serve our community. So this is significant change that we're making with these nonprofits, and we're really excited to be a part of that energy.
No kidding. I was going to say, talk about energizing for you all. You've got community that it's automatic, right? In all these people you get to meet and know further, working in depth to do something beyond your own abilities.
It's incredible because women don't always feel like philanthropic opportunities are within their reach. And this is a way that people can really try that on for size. One amazing opportunity we have to get first started in the organization is our Share the Love Fund. So if $1,000 of giving feels a little bit of a stretch, we have a scholarship program where we will contribute the difference of what an individual may be able to give. So this is exciting for those that may be on the younger side but would like to allocate some of their funds that they're making to give to the community. And so we see this as a really great entry point. And so we're excited to be able to offer that to people as well.
Awesome. So phenomenal. So you're in the process right now of encouraging new membership, correct?
Correct. We have a membership drive that goes from the day after that we award our grants. So it goes from September all the way through the end of March. So we're nearing that timeline. March 31st is the last day to join our upcoming grant cycle, and then we'll kick off our 2026 grant cycle here in April after our event called The Big Reveal, which we will announce how much money we've raised for 2026 to be able to award to grant applicants.
So can I just ask, are you hoping for 400 members now?
Yeah, so we are in our 10th year of giving.
Wow.
And so we certainly have our goals and our eyes set on 400. We're doing really great this year, and so we're hoping to meet that goal. And this year we're also very excited because we're going to be surpassing over $3 million in our grants that we've given throughout these 10 years.
That's crazy, Jen. So cool.
I have two questions. What's your geographic area for membership and for awarding grants, or where people can apply from?
Yes. So we serve our 5-county region. So that includes Grand Traverse, Leelanau, Benzie County, Kalkaska, and Antrim County.
And all the work you do in administering this, handing out the money, determining who gets it, is there any paid staff or?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. I was just going to make a comment about that. So this organization is 100% volunteers.
So, look at that.
So we've got
Incredible.
about 20
Talk about
board
efficient.
members, and we all contribute our skills and gifts that we have obtained throughout our, life experience. And everybody does this as a part of their heart and giving to the community.
I'm just thrilled. We had Windy Steele on in 2017 when they originally were just starting this program. And, sometimes you get it right. We had her on the show, and I'm so glad we did. What a huge impact. Obviously, they would have done it without us, but I'm just glad that we were able to assist in some way that way.
Yes.
So who do they contact to become members if they're interested? Someone is interested.
Yes. So very simple process. Just jump on our website, impacttc.org. impact.org. You can follow us along on social media as well, on Facebook and Instagram. And there is a membership page. Join as a member, as a first-time member. We even have folks that may have participated a few years and then life circumstances happened, and we welcome any members to return at any point.
Wonderful. ImpactTC.org. And if we can ask one last question, what's the one thing that's impacted you the most personally that you would say maybe you're even surprised by in reflecting on it? What would that be?
I love this question. So unexpectedly, I have 3 kiddos. My oldest are daughters, and my girls are fascinated by Impact 100. And they're so excited every time that I go to an event, and they want to come along and participate. So one of the things that I'm excited about is being able to plant this seed at an early age, and they can see the magnitude of the impact of being able to give in their community.
So it's much bigger than yourself, of course, in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Jen, thanks so much for coming on.
Absolutely.
You do a great job
Thank you for
representing
having
Impact.
me.
And you go, all of you, impacttc.org.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
A couple text questions.
Yes,
Beth
I'm
might
sorry,
have
the
to do.
text
Okay.
questions, that's what it was. Let's go there, shall we?
Let's see, someone writes us, I realize your service is worth the money, but could you tell me what is the average return after fees are deducted from a client investment over the last 3 years?
We can show you the returns depending on your risk tolerance and what you would have been invested in. That's a very different thing, depending on the conservative nature of the investment itself and also your own willingness to take risk. That's what it would be dependent upon. Now, again, we can show you those returns from sample statements of those types of accounts that you might have invested in. Our fees are taken out on a quarterly basis, and that is a fee-based relationship. So, we can show you all of that if you wanted to come in. That's what I would say.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that first meeting is always complimentary as well. So we are happy to sit with you, talk through that. No obligation or fee or charge or anything.
Right.
You can call our office at 231-947-3992.
Yeah. The variance there is that dramatic that for me to quote it, that's not even fair to do on the radio. Okay, there was another question.
It's kind of
as
an
well,
open-ended here, I think, looking at the market and investment. Someone says, what happens if there's a cyber hack or a cyber attack regarding large sums of money?
Then it could be very interesting in terms of recovering that. We'll have to see what kind of result that is. Just about anything can happen.
Well, it depends on the institution too, and where if that money's gone, then where the FDIC would step in on some of that insurance as well. So
the insurance has always stepped up in those cases to protect depositors and other conservative investors. So, and or the SIPC, the Securities Investors Protection Corporation. So there are divisions within the federal government to protect those deposits. In that case, in certain situations, you bet. But those would rely on where you have your money invested too.
A good comment. Somebody says, I worked with a woman who complained all the time about the fluctuation in gas prices. She could not wrap her head around the commodities market. I told her to watch the movie Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy, who sell and buy frozen concentrated orange juice, which would affect the price of her morning screwdriver. But that is a funny movie, and you can kind of learn a little bit about the commodities market watching it.
It's a dynamic that it's just unreal, and that's of course related to futures contracts where you can lose more than you invest, which we don't get involved with at all. But there are reasons for those contracts. We've got into previous programs, but it is a dynamic that's they're trying to look at the future, gaze into the future as a group, as any of us would want to do, to try to guess, where earnings going to be. Is this going to impact those? Are the price changes going to impact a company's ability to stay in business and or turn a profit still? And that's where we're seeing the impact on the prices related to the stock market itself. So they're always gazing into the future, and we'll see how accurate they are. Often, they go too far one way. That's where that can benefit you and significantly. Some stats.
Yes.
Do we have time for those?
Yes,
Rob?
and one other stat, the weather, that the fluctuation in prediction. Somebody
Right.
said the Apple phone might have been set for centimeters instead of inches.
Well, it was set for inches, just
Okay.
to be accurate. Yeah, you
All
would
right.
think it was centimeters based on the variance there. Yeah,
That's funny. SpaceX is targeting around a $1.5 trillion valuation ahead of its IPO offering. This comes after Elon Musk announced plans to launch the latest version of its Starship rocket in March.
Well, how do they make money there, I wonder? They fly cargo missions and get paid for that, I guess.
it's more than that.
Satellite.
but,
They launch
yeah,
satellite, probably.
communications and all the rest. Yeah.
Okay.
They anticipate obviously a lot of revenue out of a company like that. Yeah.
And Paramount Skydance will acquire Warner Brothers Discovery in a $110 billion deal. Yeah, beating out the offer from Netflix. Paramount Skydance paid the $2.8 billion contract termination fee to Netflix on Warner Brothers Discovery's behalf.
And the winner
I think
there,
the winner there was definitely Netflix.
Netflix was the
Yeah.
winner, we think, in that one. Huge. $3 billion, thank you very much, basically.
I can't, yeah.
It's a nice amount of money. $3,000 million.
Recent research shows that 1 in 10 U.S. adults is a caregiver for a parent over the age of 65. Lower income individuals are also more likely to be caregivers, with a 39% of respondents in the lower income class saying they are caregivers, compared to the 23% for middle class income individuals and 16% for the upper income individuals. That's a lot. 1 in 10?
It is
Yeah.
a bunch, and obviously not an easy task,
No.
depending on the status of the parent in question, their health status. Yeah.
We can wrap it up here now. As Nathan said, if you call Prout Financial Design, they're headquartered in Traverse City, and you can make an appointment. And the first appointment, you sit down with somebody, and it's complimentary.
That's
Yes,
right.
indeed.
Get
You
a lay
bet.
of the land, get to know each other. All right. Thank you, Beth Shire, Nathan Prout, and Mr. Dennis Prout.